What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Real GP Zerker Edition. In this video, we're going to be checking out my Zerker account, killing the Abyssal demons. So, if you don't know and you're new to the series, all of the NPCs and the weapons I'm using were voted in by the viewers for every single episode of this series. So for this one, once again, Abyssal demons, we're going to be checking out how much you can make per hour on a mid-level account. As usual, we're going to jump into a little bit of background about the Abyssal demons to start this one off. So first off, you will need a Slayer level of at least level 85 to even do damage to the Abyssal demons. You can use a Wild Pie starting at level 80 to do damage, but that's a little out of the way. Might as well just wait till 85. As for their combat stats, level 150 hit points, 97 attack, 67 strength, 135 defense, and magic and range levels are 1. They are a pretty hefty NPC and can take some time to kill because of that hit points and defense level pair there. And even for max mains, they do hit quite consistently. Their max hit is only 8, but it can add up over time. So for this video on my Zerker account, I'm actually going to be using Proselyte and Protect from melee because my trips would not last very long at all without using that. As for the defensive stats, plus 20 across the board, except for magic, plus 0 there, but generally you're not going to be using magic here unless you are bursting or barraging them in the Catacombs of Kourend. Moving on to the Abyssal Demon drop table. At the time of this video, the average Abyssal Demon kill is worth around 6,500 GP. If you're on a Konar task, that jumps up to about 7,700. So those Brimstone keys definitely coming in clutch for this Slayer task. As for the weapons and armor, really nothing of interest here. A couple of Alkables, Rune Chain Body, and Rune Medhelm. The Abyssal Whip, obviously, at 1 in 512 on the drop rate, and the Abyssal Dagger at 1 in 32,000. They also do drop some runes, Airs, Chaos Bloods, and Law runes. Those won't add up too much as far as net worth goes. They're not really worth much. They do drop the herbs, 19 in 128 chance of rolling the herb drop table, so I actually do bring a herb sack with me because why not pick up the extra money while I'm there. As for materials, noted pure essence and adamant bars every so often. They also have the coins drop table on their table. Some others, some lobsters, cosmic chaos talisman, defense potions, and their tertiary drop table also includes the Ensouled Abyssal Head, which is 1 in 25, so definitely want to pick those up. Brimstone keys if you're on a Konar task, Clue Scrolls, Hards, and Elites, and the Abyssal Head at 1 in 6,000. As for the Catacombs tertiary drop table, which is where I chose to kill these, they also do drop Ancient Shards and Totem Pieces. So if you are killing Abyssal Demons, you probably want to do it in the Catacombs just for the chances of getting those totems stacked up for Skotizo kills. Into the gear setup we go. So as I mentioned earlier, all of the NPCs and the weapons that I'm using to kill said NPCs were voted in by the viewers. So for this one, I'm going to be using the Dragon Scimitar paired with the Rune Defender as my offhand. For the rest of my gear, Berserker's Helmet, Fire Cape, Amulet of Fury. I have a Bandos Blessing, but any blessing that you have will work. Proselyte top and bottom, Barrow's Gloves, Rune Boots, and a Berserker's Ring Eye. Over in the inventory, 2 Super Combat Potions, 14 Prayer Potions, my Herb Sack to pick up those random herb drops, Natures and Fire Runes for the rune drops that I do get, I did alch those, and some House Teleports to get myself out. This particular setup here would allow me to stay for between about an hour and a half and 2 hours at a time. So now we can get into the actual statistics of the video that I figured out for this. We're going to start off with our kill statistics. For this video, I ended up being able to kill 1,633 Abyssal Demons. I spent the usual 20 hours, which I have for all of the videos in this series. So 20 hours here, that ended up averaging me 81.65 kills per hour. So on average there for drop rate, it's definitely taking me about 6 or more hours to see an Abyssal Whip, assuming that I hit the drop rate with that. But how much did I end up making from those 1,633 kills? Well, the woes of RNG got me for this one, guys. Total guide price here, 4,175,177 GP. I was only able to get one Abyssal Whip in the 20 hours. Now, drop rate, I should have seen about 3, but everybody knows how RNG can be, and that's just how it was for this one. So 814 platinum tokens, which ends up being 814k, and that was from Alkables and whatnot. 1,090 chaos runes, 385 bloods, some random herbs in there, 61 abyssal heads, and an abyssal whip, 4.175 million. So as for my profit and cost statistics, so I ended up spending 1.87 million GP on supplies, and that was with the super combat potions plus the prayer potions and whatever else I actually happen to use, nature runes, house teleports. This brings my net profit to 2.3 million GP, which ends up with the profit per hour 115,000 GP. Absolutely atrocious for a level 85 Slayer monster. Now, just for kicks and giggles, I actually did do the math for the drop rate as well. If I would have been lucky enough to hit the drop rate, I would have had 3 whips instead of just the 1. So my supply cost, once again, 1.87 million GP. My net profit would have increased to 7.66 million, but my profit per hour is still only 383,000 GP. And we've seen other NPCs, monsters in this series that really are a lot more money than 383,000 GP per hour. So even with those Abyssal whips in there, still not looking too good. And of course, I did keep track of the experience rates, as I always do. Once again, weapon of choice for this video is the Dragon Scimitar. Total experience gained, I got 979,800 strength XP throughout the entire video here for that 20 hours, which brings my XP per hour to 48,990. Overall, the XP per hour is not too bad, but it's not the best that we have seen either. I would say it's somewhere around average, and this is also not being on a Slayer task, just regular gear, not getting that 15% boost to attack and strength. So as for my final thoughts, well, first of all, the Abyssal Demons are atrocious GP per hour, and that is because they are incredibly dependent on that drop rate of the whip. It is 1 in 512 for the drop rate. So if you're not seeing whips on a decent drop rate, you're not making any money per hour here. So my final decision on this one is going to be, this is not the place to camp. And it's a little disappointing because Abyssal Demons do require level 85 Slayer, and there are other places prior to level 85 Slayer, such as the Skeletal Wyverns, the normal Neckrails, Gargoyles. They all are better GP per hour than the Abyssal Demons, even if you are on drop rate for the whip. So if you're a main account and you're just looking for a whip, you're honestly better off going somewhere else to make the money for the whip and then just buying it from the Grand Exchange, because honestly, unless you get lucky with the drop, it probably will take you less time, or rather less consistent time, to just go get the money somewhere else and then buy the whip. And as for the experience rates, like I said, it's not too bad, but not the best either. So if you are an Iron Meme and you're hunting for a whip, well, obviously this is all you really can do for it, but at least you're going to be able to get a decent amount of attack or strength or defense XP while you're doing it. As far as main accounts go, not a good place to train, not a good place to make money. So like I said, if you need a whip, make the money somewhere else and just buy from the Grand Exchange. Well, that is going to wrap up another episode of the Real GP Zerker Edition. This was episode 11, and we have 4 more to go in the series. Thank you guys for voting on it, and thank you for keeping the series alive. Appreciate you guys watching it. So this one did feature the Abyssal Demons, and if you liked the video, please leave a thumbs up down below. They really do help the video's popularity, and if you haven't done so yet, tap the subscribe button on your way out. All of your support really helps the channel, and if you really want to support the channel, you can join it as a channel member. This will give you exclusive access to channel member only posts and exclusive in-game events and games and invites with me. So once again, everybody, thank you for watching. I will see you on the next one. Take it easy, everybody.